Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be leveling the deck on this John Deere X540. We're going to be going through a slightly different procedure than the manual suggests. I think it's a little bit easier. The manual talks about using one of these. This is the approved John Deere gauge. I think they're a little finicky and a little bit tricky to use, and I don't know that they're all that accurate. So we're going to be using a slightly different method, and watch the video, tell me what you think. The first step for any kind of deck leveling procedure should always be to check the air pressures. If they are low on one side or super high on another, your mower is going to be sitting weird, and everything else you do is irrelevant because your tire pressures are off. So that's always the first step. It starts with an air compressor and going around to all four tires and checking to make sure that they are at the approved PSIs and that they are the same all the way around, side to side. 14 in the front is what mine requires, and 10 PSI in the back on the rear tires. Here is the rear tire where it is saying inflate to 10. And here is the front tire, inflate to 14 PSI. So this back one was at like 6 pounds, so it should be at 10, major difference. And as you're inflating it, you can actually see the mower rising up, so it makes a huge difference. To double check the pressures, I'm using digital gauge. My inflator has a gauge on it, but at the half-pound increment, it can be kind of tricky. So 9.5, I'm gonna add just a little bit more and we'll be right there at that 10 pounds. One other thing to point out is that I am running a PowerFlow bagger system on this mower. It's very important that as you're leveling the deck, you wanna make sure that any kind of accessory like the PowerFlow bagger is on and installed on the mower. Any kind of extra weight is gonna make the deck ride differently. This thing itself is, I don't know, maybe 20 pounds or so. It's kind of a lot of weight to just hang on the edge of a deck. So again, if you go through the trouble of leveling the deck and making it all perfect, and then you hang your PowerFlow bagger out on the edge of it, again, you're not really doing yourself any good there. So you want to adjust the mower as it's going to be used. We're in the detached garage right now, which actually has floor drains in it for washing vehicles. So that means that the floors are actually kind of sloped down to each drain. So this garage is not good for doing a deck adjustment. You need a flat level surface. So for that, we are going to go to my other garage, which does not have any floor drains. So the way the manual talks about doing this is using this tool here. And again, this would just kind of slide under the deck there. You would dial it down, get your adjustment, and then read your dial there like so. And then you would take this and move it around to all four corners and kind of get it dialed in that way. The problem that I see is that it's a pretty finicky adjustment. Any little bump will move it, and well, only having one of them means you're taking it all around to all four corners constantly, trying to find, get it dialed in that way. What I did was I made these 2-inch blocks. They're all the same 2 inches. They sit like this, and they get put under the deck at all four corners. I can keep them all in, and then once they're in place, I can just adjust it from there, and we should be good to go. So I've got the mower on a much more level surface right now. This concrete paddle would work just perfect. The deck has been adjusted to 2 inches and run all the way down in that 2-inch position. I recently had my deck off. That's why my anti-scalp wheels are turned like that. I'm not a complete moron. Those will be fixed at the very end of the video. Once we get the deck leveled, we will get those final adjusted as well. So I'm gonna put one kind of up under here. We've got lots of play right there, lots of movement. It's very high in the front. Going around to this back side. can't even get the block under there right now. Same thing on the back left, can't get it under right now. And front left is, you know, pretty significant there. The back of the mower deck is adjusted through the lifting arms. There's one on each side, so a left and a right. It's this piece right here that extends back, and the adjustment is actually done by turning this nut right here. I always start with the back, pick a side, and just adjust it so that your blocks fit right under the measuring point. As you're making adjustments to the rear of the deck, keep in mind that making adjustments on one side has the reverse effect on the opposite side. For example, bringing the left side up is actually going to bring the right side down at the same time. So what you have to do is make small incremental adjustments side to side, always bouncing back and forth and checking to make sure that your adjustments are doing what you want them to do. On the front, your adjustment is up here. Both sides, so you want to loosen up these nuts, give them plenty of space there, and then all of your adjustments going to be these two here. That's kind of what your tension is on right now, so you kind of want to spin them equal turns, you know, count threads or just kind of get an equal spacing side to side, because it's a U-shaped hanger, but you want it to hold the deck kind of at the same height all the way across there. So with the measuring blocks, there's 3 points that the manual kind of talks about measuring, and they're marked with this little ear right here. So this is my 2-inch block. Kind of fits under just a little bit of play, just where I want it. That's on the left side of the rear. On the right side, again, we have this little ear right here sticking up. And again, our 2-inch block just kind of fits right under there. Just a little bit of play. Fits under really nice. And then the third point is actually the front. It's marked with a 3 right here. And it's just going to be basically right under here. This is kind of a snug fit. It still can get under there, but it's a pretty snug fit, which is just what we want, because you actually want your front just slightly pitched down in comparison to the back. So we are level and ready to go. So that is my deck leveling video. If I had one piece of advice to give you, it would be don't worry about getting it perfect. I have definitely spent way too much time trying to level my deck to perfection. I've got like 4 different blocks that I put in at different corners, trying to just get it ever so slightly, just get that little bit extra, and then I run around to the other side and try to compensate for it that way. It's a waste of time. There's only 3 adjustment points in the whole deck. You have your 2 lifting arms in the back, left and right, and then you have the one in the front, which controls the whole front edge of the mower deck. So start with the back, get them close, move up to that 3rd point in the front. Again, close is perfect. Close is ideal with this. Get it close, go mow your lawn. It's gonna look awesome. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for my next video.